Hello everyone and welcome back to Flo's Corner. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make one of my favorites. These are Nerds candy grapes. Super yum and easy to make. So let's get started. First, we're going to start by cleaning our grapes. These are just some grapes that I picked up at my local Target. So if you've watched my video on how to make candy grapes, then you will know that I normally like to twist the grape off of the stem. I feel that it just makes it come off very easily instead of tearing, because sometimes when you pull it apart, it will rip some of the skin off of the grape, and that is not what we want. So definitely do the twisting method. Then I'm going to fill this up with some water. I just try to fill it just enough where it's covering all of the grapes. And then I like to add some of my distilled white vinegar into the mix just to get it extra clean. Adding a half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon would be just enough. A little goes a long way when it comes to vinegar. I like to leave this in here for about 10 minutes the most, and then I'm going to rinse off of my grapes. And then we're going to take a paper towel and I'm going to dry off all of my grapes, because when it comes to making candied fruit, you don't want to have really barely to none of moisture, because it will seize up and harden your candy mixture very bad. So you don't want that. So try to dry your grapes as much as possible. If you see any bit of condensation on it, please just wipe it off. Once they're all dry, now we're just going to leave them on the mat, and you're going to grab some skewers. You're more than welcome to use toothpicks if you like as well. You guys know I love using my skewers. If I use my toothpicks, I like to use the one a little bit longer than the standard size, just so that I don't have any bouts of trying to burn myself when it comes to the skewer being too short. So we don't want that, because that mixture burning on your skin is painful. You're just going to insert the skewer where the stem head came out from. There's no need to make another hole on the other side. Make sure when you're inserting your skewer that you are not piercing all the way through, because like I said, we don't want any moisture coming from these grapes. Now we're going to go on to our candy mixture recipe. If you've been following me for a while, then you will notice that my candy mixture recipe never, and I mean never, changes. I literally just use the one that I know and I feel comfortable with, which is 2 cups of sugar, a half a cup of water, and a 1/4 cup of corn syrup. I also have a video out there on how to make candied fruit without using any corn syrup. Definitely go check that out. I'll definitely link that in the description box below. Also, if you have used my candy mixture recipe, definitely put it in the comments. Let me know how it works for you. If you've made candy fruit using my instructions or anything, let me know, y'all. Like, I would like to know if I'm helping y'all. So definitely, like I said, I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing any type of criticism or anything to make me better. I would really appreciate that, y'all. But back on to the video. So here I'm just going to mix all of that sugar, corn syrup, and the water together just so I can get a nice little flow. You don't want any chunks of sugar in your candy mixture. It will not be pretty. So for this batch of candy grapes that I'm making, I'm going to be using my liquid food coloring, kind of like I used in the one without corn syrup video. So I'm going to be using a yellow one. This is just yellow food dye that you get from your regular supermarket. And I'm just going to place it in before I put the mixture onto the stove. Like I always say in all of my videos, if you're using a liquid food dye, you need to put that in before you place your mixture onto the stove. Because once it starts to bubble and you added any liquid after that, it will seize up your candy mixture and it will be a complete fail. And you're going to have to start all over. Now I'm going to add some of my whitener just to take away some of that translucent look. I was going for like a dull yellow. I don't really know how to describe the yellow I was going for, but I don't know. Anytime I'm doing my candy grapes, that's like freeform or demonstration videos, I just have a certain color in my head and I try to achieve it any way possible. So I just seen this certain yellow, which you're going to see at the end of the video, or at least you saw at the beginning of the video if you saw what the candy grapes look like. I was going for that type of color. I added a little bit more yellow because, like I said, there was just a certain color I had in my head that I wanted to achieve. So I just added just a tiny bit, drops more. Do remember that I did mention that if you're going to use gel food coloring, which I normally would use versus my liquid one, do add that in when the mixture is boiling, because it's gel food coloring and it's not going to do anything to the mixture. It is fine. I normally like to add it at 250 degrees when I add my flavoring. Don't forget to place your candy thermometer on the side of the pot. I do know how to make candy grapes without using my thermometer. If you would like a video on that, definitely like this video so I know. I'm going to be using pineapple flavoring for this certain batch of candy grapes. Under 250 degrees, you will see that you have these really rapid, fast bubbles that's bubbling. Once it hits 250 degrees, like here, you will see that it had died down and started slowing down. So I added my food coloring. I only used half a dram. So here's the star of the show because y'all came to see a Nerds Candy Grape video. So here I just purchased these at my nearest Family Dollar. I have the Nerds Candy Rainbow and I have the Gummy Clusters. The Gummy Clusters I'm going to be using towards the end as my garnish and decoration. But I'm going to take a bowl and I'm just going to pour all of the Nerds into the bowl just so I can have it ready for when it's time for me to start dipping my candy grapes into the topping. I'm doing all of this before the mixture hits 300 degrees. Once it hits 300 degrees, it's dipping time. Let's go. Remove your mixture from the stove. Make sure to place a pot holder underneath the pot so you don't burn your table or your mat. For the first couple of ones, I'm just going to leave regular without any toppings because, you know, you got to have an aesthetic. You got to have a look. Some with candies and some without. So for the ones without the topping, you're just going to dip and then shake off the excess and then place onto the mat. For the ones that we're going to add our topping in, we are going to dip it into the mixture, shake it off a little bit, and then you're going to grab your toppings bowl and roll it around in there. So for some of them, I decided to do, I call it my little Nerds hat to kind of just give them a hat look. I know it sounds crazy, but I just, like I said, I just had this certain look in my head. So I made a few of them like that, and then I also made some regular, and then I made some that I'm going to roll completely around into the nurse so that it can be covered. So for example, for this grape, you're going to see that I'm going to dip it into the mixture, and then I'm going to pick up the toppings bowl, and I'm just going to roll it around just so it can have a full coverage all over the grapes with the nerds. So for recommendation, I would say if you're going to use the nerds as a topping for your candy grapes, definitely get the pineapple flavoring as the flavor for the candy grapes because it is so delicious with the pineapple one. I really like how subtle the pineapple flavoring oil is. I don't know, it gives it such a subtle taste, and then when you add the nerds on top of that, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite ones. You're more than welcome to use any flavoring of your choice, but just the pineapple whenever you're making the nerds candy grapes, use that pineapple flavoring. It is chef's kiss. And y'all know I always do a disclosure whenever I make my candy fruit. Do not consume these every day. This is not even something you should consume every week. Always be mindful and monitor your sugar intake because this is made from a sugar candy mixture, also with cornstarch. Like I said, just be mindful of your consumption of the candied fruit. But it is a nice little treat when you want to throw something together real quick because this is delicious. I love me some candy fruit, y'all. Also, I would love for y'all to put down in the comments like what kind of candy fruit you like, whether you like grapes, strawberries, pineapples, and what flavoring do you guys go for? Are y'all into like toppings and stuff like that? Do you guys have candy fruit makers by your way, or do you guys normally make it on your own? I would love to know that. But we are all done. Here they are. Yum, yum, sugar plum, yum, yum. I love the way these taste. The nerds just add so much of a different feel to the candy grapes, especially like I said, using that pineapple flavoring. It is really delicious. I really think you guys should give this a try. I really try to take a lot of inspiration from the Gummy Clusters. As you can see, I was making my candy fruit looking just like that, even though it don't have the little gumminess in the middle. But it don't matter, it still was delish. So I added some Gummy Clusters as garnish and decorations. I mean, come on now, they were nerds candy grapes. Why wouldn't you add Gummy Clusters in there? But yeah, I thank y'all all for tuning in. I really hope this tutorial was helpful. Please give this video a like, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.